Hello and welcome back to Fade the Noise. This is episode 6. We've got the full house with us today. Welcome back, Aaron. And we've got some sweet matchups to look at, and we've got a crazy past week to cover for you guys. Let's introduce the crew. First off, we've got our sponsor from Moneyline Hacks, who is the CEO, has been on a heater lately. We got Mr. Joe. Joe, how are you doing today?
I'm good. Last week we went 5-1 on the UFC main card, so that added to the last 2 weeks. The week before that, it was 6-0 sweep, so 11-1 on profitable UFC fights on the main card. So I'm doing good, ready to get into tomorrow's UFC.
I'll take 5-1 too. Break the brooms out. My account is looking good. All right, we've got Mr. Angel over here as well, our resident fantasy and gambling expert, baseball enthusiast.
What's up? How we doing?
How you doing, Angel?
I'm fantastic.
You had a good week?
Life. Oh yeah, we're chilling. Had a good time watching the Thunder finish the Pacers. Felt bad. Halliburton went 3 for 4 from 3, then freaking tears the Achilles or whatever, and just there goes another chances. But Thunder finally got theirs, and it was a good time watching.
It is not a good time watching, but we will dive into that.
For sure.
We've got Aaron back after a week or two. Welcome back, Aaron. You doing all right?
Yeah, I had quite a bit of family in town, running around, spent a lot of time at the lakes. Didn't get away from the betting quite a bit, but got some good family time in. So it's always a good thing.
It's all about balance, man. Family and gambling.
It's all we know.
I'm joking, kind of. So it's been a pretty crazy last week since our last show. We, as Angel mentioned, we've got new NBA champions. I don't love the way it went down personally. Don't get me wrong. I always said the Thunder were going to win, but that was before the series started.
Yeah,
and then
that was all our predictions.
Everybody loves an underdog.
It's true.
Know, it's just one of those things. And to see it end in that way was devastating. I think LeBron just tweeted like just one word response to the injury. And then Patrick Mahomes, he captured it for me. I think his response just said, no.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
Like that's how do you get to game 7 with that? And this is irrelevant. I'm going to drop a note. Scottie Pippen gets on my last nerve. Like he was like, NBA Finals, game 7? Never heard of it. Settle down. Okay. I think it's unreasonable. Anyway, so we've got that. The NBA draft started. Shockingly, the Mavericks chose Cooper Flagg. We'll see how much they build his career and then trade him away. Actually, I read something about that too. Luka is in fantastic shape for the Lakers right now. And everyone was saying, like, what could the Mavs have done to make that impression on him? But sometimes I feel like it's that vengeance almost. Like, you traded me away. You're calling me these things, saying I'm not professional because I'm not taking care of business. All right, I'm going to show you. And Luka looks great. He took like a straight month off from basketball to just work on his body. He's looking slim, and it's weird. It is weird.
They took over $100 million from him by releasing him, trading him to the Lakers, and then they called him a fat boy on the way out. He's gonna come in shape. He's gonna come in shape next year.
Yeah, I forgot. It changed his eligibility for a max extension. Yeah. So, okay. So 100 million motivates people.
Yes, it does.
Cool. And in other news, we've got John Jones' retirement from the UFC. We will see. It was announced in a very weird way. Aspinall is now the champ, which was kind of like, it felt like an afterthought announcement on UFC's part. And I know his dad went in and kind of, shit on UFC and Dana White a little bit, saying like, that's not how you announce it. And I agree with him. At the same time, just take the win. Aspinall himself seems happy. He's like, let's get the division moving again. And once we move on to our UFC segment in a minute, I'm curious to hear Joe's thoughts, as I would consider myself a casual UFC fan, and I'm really curious how the heavyweight division is going to move forward with the personnel that they have, considering past matchups between Aspinall and some of the others. So we'll dive into that. Real quick, let's recap what happened last Saturday with UFC. As Joe mentioned earlier, in one main card run. Honestly, my account makes me very happy right now, and I am a week better. So just I'm thrilled right now. Joe, you want to give us a recap of last weekend's card, how things went, anything that surprised you?
That's right, 11-1, baby. Main card. All right. So for the last week, we started off the main card with Bogdangrad. We had his spread at +3.5, and he just put it on, dude. I think he did win 29-28. I mean, not win. I think the judges' scorecards were 29-28 all across the board, leading us to get that +3.5 spread. Sadikov and Mata for the next fight went over 1.5 rounds, so that was a cast there, 2-0. And for fight 9, we even had 2 fights in one. I don't count them. I just count the profitability per fight. So it's really more than the 6-0, but or 5-1. But Orobai got the money line, and we got Orobai by sub +400 prop that we cashed. Then we go to Curtis Blades. He got the decision. Some people don't like it, but he got it. There's another dub there. Bahamondes versus for the second and last fight, we had Ignacio Bahamondes, and that one we dropped. Then we go to the main event, which is Khalil Roundtree Jr. I said, if you ever feel as strongly as I did on a pick 'em, you pick them. We picked them and they hit. So Khalil Roundtree money line for 1.5 unit. And this was all given in our VIP card. So we did good last week. It was good to see Khalil Roundtree against Jamal Hill, and Roundtree really showed what I was thinking, that he just is at a different level than Hill. Hill seems to have taken a decline. He's taken a step down. And I think that was the worst decision for him to go in that celebrity basketball game when he was the champion, tear his Achilles, and then he hasn't been the same since. That's our Achilles UFC example. Yeah, don't be playing basketball when you're the champ, guys. Not like that.
Sadikov, that was the one where he gave both fighters all the bonuses, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a good one. That went over. That was a old fight.
Yeah, that looked like a war. And for the audience members, I'll tell you now, Joe's picks are always golden. I'm greedy and I bet like a wuss. And a lot of times I'll take his picks and, put them together. Don't do that. It's just follow the system. Okay. I was so sure that the Roundtree fight was not going to go the distance. So I won a ton of money, and still I could have won so much more if I had just been disciplined and responsible, like an adult, someone who's been betting for years and years and should know better.
Management is key. Sticking to your plan is key. Once you start changing stuff up, especially on a bad streak, it's just going to continue to go bad.
Yeah. Fortunately, things are heating up and quickly. So awesome. Yeah, it's been an interesting last week. We're going to dive into the UFC card for tomorrow. I've got plans and I'm devastated that I'm going to miss it. We've got UFC 317, Toporia versus Oliveira. I've read so many takes on this. I'm excited to see what our guests and co-hosts think about this because I have not run any of this by them. So we've got that fight, and we're also going to talk about Josh Van and Brandon Royval. If you guys remember or were watching, we talked about Josh Van 2 or 3 episodes ago, I think. And I think that fight played out exactly as everybody predicted. He won overwhelmingly, I think, by decision. And now he's already fighting again. And I asked Joe about it. He said it's a step up in competition. So, Joe, you want to start with Van and Royval, and we'll move on to Toporia afterwards?
Sir, for Josh Van versus Brandon Royval, everybody knows we're big Josh Van fans in our Discord. But tomorrow we're going to Royval. I think this is too big of a step up in competition. Josh Van did just lose last year to Charles Johnson, who's not Brandon Royval. So even with the gap that I think he's closed in this last year with Johnson, I think if they ran it back, he might get a win over him. I don't think he's closed that gap with Royval yet. I do see Josh Van as a future champion. I think he's very high on him. So believe me when I say I think Royval is going to take it tomorrow. I think they said he was an underdog, which I haven't even checked yet. But if he is, that's just insane value for the skill that Brandon Royval brings. He's already faced elite names like Brandon Moreno, Alexandre Pantoja, and Kai Kara France, who's already fighting tomorrow, who's fighting for the belt. So So I don't know. I think Van's striking is pretty crisp, but he could get reckless, especially when things don't go his way. He looks good in a lot of his fights, but it's when things aren't going your way is where we want to see how you react. And I think he reacts good, but against someone elite like Royval, I don't think it's going to translate to a win, because Royval, like we said, he just beat Brandon Moreno, who was long, champion for over a year. He's had, multiple time champion. He's fought a high level competition. That's as high of a win that you could get in this division. So he has the track record. But I'm not saying it's impossible for Van to win, but as a bettor, this Brandon Royval pick just screams value. And either way, I think Royval should be closer to minus 200 in this fight. So that's where we're going to go. And Royval also lives in the scramble. He drowns you in chaos. And honestly, this is trial by fire for Van. If Van survives, he's the real deal. If he wins, he's the real deal. But it's going to be a crazy fight.
Wow. You said that you think he should be minus 200?
I think, yeah. Royval, every time, literally the reason why Van is, I think, a pick'em is so like that. Literally the reason why the odds are so close is because of Van's hype right now. If he didn't have that hype, then it would be closer to minus 200, because it has all the makings to be a minus 200 pick. Royval is are still hot right now. I think he's dropped only one in his last 5 or 6, that being the championship fight against Pantoja. He's beat everybody else, the former champion Moreno. He's beaten the current, up and comer Kai Kara France. He's got everything that shows that Vegas should make this minus 200, but I think Vegas is hyped up on Van as well. So
okay, I was just checking on his background. Is his name really Raw Dog?
Royval?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, well, to each their own. I wanted confirmation. Good for him. Let's go over Angel. Got any thoughts about that fight?
Yeah, pretty much covered all the bases. Royval is taller, has longer reach, so I'd say he has a couple more advantages. Joshua Van, right around 3 weeks ago, is when he won against Bruno Silva, so who knows if he took any injuries, and that's a quick turnaround right to the next fight, which is probably the most important fight of his life. But yeah, he's facing a number 1 contender in Royval, so it's going to be a great challenge, and if he can get it done, the hype will be even bigger. But I am siding with Joe on this one, taking Royval as well.
Man, hearing you say 3 weeks ago blows my mind. That's not even
Insane.
long enough to be a camp for most people.
Nah, that's recovery time.
Aaron, I know you're a big Josh Van fan. Do you have any comments on that fight, or wait and see what happens? What are you thinking?
I mean, no, I don't really have anything extra to say. But I'm gonna be over here wishing he got his lion heart that night. Take it home for me, man. I'll probably bet Royval, but it's gonna be more of an emotional hedge,
100%. I mean, being a fan's being a fan. Depending on what your bankroll size is, sometimes you just go with your heart. As a Cowboys fan, I completely understand. You bet on them when you shouldn't. I get it.
Royval is plus 102 versus Van minus 122. So
Okay.
yeah, the money line's gonna have value either way, but I just see so much value with that Royval pick. Yeah.
And it's plus money. I'll probably, definitely be on the Royval ticket. And probably, considering everything that was brought up, kind of be dumb not to take Royval.
Yeah, that's definitely a prop type pick. So you pair a money line with any of the props, Royval knockout plus 650. That decision's trash plus 215, but I would still probably do some on that as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, Royval, this is a fight that could test Van a lot. So if there is anyone that's gonna knock Van out, it's Royval at this stage.
The under 2.5 rounds is a plus money. I like that bet.
Ooh, that's nice. It's better than the decision.
Exactly.
That trash plus 200 decision.
Well,
another flyweights, but damn.
Right. So the weight class is interesting, and I was going to point out a lot of times when there's multiple picks that we think are likely based on, advice from our experts, and they're plus 200 or higher, I'll just bet on both. You're guaranteed profit,
Someone's gonna
honestly.
hit. Yeah, it's real.
And before we move on to the next fight, Joe, just as number 1 action capper, I wanted to get your opinion as a UFC expert. Do we think this fight goes the distance?
I think I'm number 5 capper now, but I stay in that top 10.
You're number 1 forever.
So So were you asking if I think this fight will go the distance?
Yeah, if there's going to be a finish because they're small guys.
I have a feeling that there will be a finish. I just don't know how early. That 2.5 is a good line to set it at because I think it could
Right.
happen right before or right after. It's just happening in round 2 through 4. Is if I had to pick, I'd probably pick 3 or 4. So yeah, I'm not sure. I don't think it'll go the distance if I'm being honest. Just due to Van's experience level, and I think it's a mismatch a little, even though the odds don't suggest it. This is a
Agreed.
mismatch in my opinion.
Hell yeah. I can't wait to get to lock it in then. I want to, well, if that's one of your picks anyway, I'm excited to hear. We'll move on and talk about the main event. We've got Toporia versus Oliveira. I saw some stuff this week. Can't remember who the judge is. People were saying they were worried about an early referee stoppage specifically because, and this is news to me, Joe, correct me if I'm wrong. I saw a lot of people talking about how Oliveira's thing is to essentially get his ass whooped and then turn the tables like at the last second and come back super strong and dominantly. And they were saying because of the ref, they didn't know if that would happen, like if he'd be given the leash to do that. And Topuria is scary. Honestly, I can't wait to hear your thoughts on this. I think someone's gonna go to sleep, and I might be wrong, but Joe, what do you think?
There's a reason why Toporia is undefeated for a reason. His insane pressure, his power, his elite boxing fundamentals, everything about him just so crisp. He's personally one of my favorite fighters right now and champions. I think he has a high ceiling, and I think he's had the toughest competition as a new champion since John Jones back in 2009, which is saying a tremendous amount because that's why John Jones is solidified as the GOAT.
I agree.
Yeah, like he already fought Holloway, he fought Volkanovski, knocked them both out. And now he's fighting Charles Oliveira at a higher weight class. That's just an insane resume already, and it's just going to keep getting better because of the lightweight division. There's nothing but names in that division. So right now, Toporia has done that at the highest level in the best weight classes. Oliveira is the most dangerous fighter in UFC history with his 20 submissions and 9 KOs, but he's hittable, and Topuria is going to hit him. And this has been the story that you've heard when hearing people talk about this UFC matchup is Charles gets hit, Topuria hits people, and when he does, he puts them down. So that's that makes the most logic sense, betting a Topuria KO in the first or second round. The grappling's elite on both sides, so that'll, I think, honestly nullify each other unless someone's very hurt. But yeah, I think this is Ilya's chance to stamp his name in history with a dominant win, or Charles could pull off another Dubron's miracle, but Charles has been dropped in 70% of his last 10 fights. So Topuria doesn't just drop you, he knocks you out. Don't blink
Damn.
on this one. It's kill or be killed, I'm telling you.
What a stat. Okay.
Yeah.
I was actually going to ask you because I don't know that much about Toporia's ground game, and I know Oliveira's elite, so that's some really good insight there. And I just checked the odds, and Topuria by KO is minus 175. So I'm curious to get some insight about what we're going to be looking at as far as a prop that's not too juicy by the time the fight comes around. I'm sure you'll think of something you always do, whether it's a parlay or something else. And you're talking about crispness, and I do agree. Topuria's ego is crisp as hell. So yeah, I am not a fan. I'm just kidding. I like watching him fight. It's a personality thing, you know.
Yeah, a lot of people he rubs the wrong way. I like
Yeah.
him though.
But you know what? If you're getting in the cage and doing battle like that with people, why not? That's your time to let the ego shine.
Sir,
All right, we'll go Aaron this time. Aaron, you got any comments on Topuria versus Charles Oliveira?
muted.
Feel the same way.
I didn't cap none of these UFC fights, to be honest, but I know Ilya's a bad man. Like them saying Oliveira getting knocked down, I feel like he could get knocked down more than a couple times. And I like Ilya, like, I think he might not want to get up that third time, or that second time. He might not want to get up after Ilya puts him down. That's what I like to see. Again, I didn't really go into this making a pick or nothing. It's just another dude I like.
Yeah.
He's strong,
You,
man. It's a
you don't
tank.
have to make a pick or anything. It's literally just insight. So far, it's all been valuable. So thank you. Angel, what are your thoughts on the fight?
Yeah, I'm really liking the El Matador Topuria in this one. Dude can do it all. He has 16-0 in the UFC, undefeated. 8 wins by submission, 9 first-round finishes, 6 wins by knockout. So he's good on the ground. He's good at throwing hands, we've seen. Coming off a knockout of Max Holloway. Definitely going to be, I think he's going to be in better health because that the weight cut before was very like in danger of his health he was talking about. And I think he's going to come out stronger, maybe more terrifying. So I think he's going to like this matchup. And Charles Oliveira coming off the win against Michael Chandler, but Toporia is no Michael Chandler. So I don't think it's going to go to decision. I think Charles gets finished.
Let's go.
Hell yeah. I cannot wait to see how it happens. Thank you guys for the insight on that. It's going to be a very interesting fight. It'll change the division. I saw Toporia was saying he's never felt this good because he's always had to cut so much weight. And frankly, as a man who weighs almost double what he does at the same height, I'm like, oh, I bet it would be brutal to cut those 10 pounds. Yeah, so I can't wait. I think it's going to be an exciting fight. Cool. So we are wrapped up on the upcoming UFC card. We're going to move into baseball really quick. I will say, at a quick glance, I'm a fan of doing round robins. Now, a lot of people don't really understand them, potentially myself included. And honestly, the payouts can be massive, but when I see a full lineup, and if you have strong feelings and you parlay a bunch of things together and you put them into a round robin, it's like making a bunch of tiny parlays that can pay out really well or really screw you. So I guess the message with that is do your best. And if you've got strong feelings about today's lineup, all the odds are really close. Today's lineup, we've got the A's at the Yankees, we've got Cardinals at Guardians, and we've got the Cubs going to Houston. So let's dive right on in. A's and Yankees. Angel, you want to kick us off? What do you think?
For sure. We got Yankees at home today. We got Mitch Spence, 2-2 on the season, 3.84 ERA. In his last 2 games, he's given up 8 and 7 hits, also 4 and 1 runs. He's coming off his worst game of the season against the Guardians after giving up 4 runs. He usually doesn't give up that many runs. Before that, he allowed only 2 runs in his last 17 frames. So you would think maybe a bounce back game would probably be happening today, but I don't think so because it's against the Yankees, but you never know. They got Will Warren on the mound today. He's 4-4, 4.6 ERA, kind of high. His last 2 games, he's given up 6 hits each time, 2 and 3 runs. So I think it's going to be a high run game. Will Warren's he's allowed 3 runs or fewer in his last 3 games. So he's doing a little better than his ERA says. But yeah, I just think it's going to be a high scoring game. Aaron Judge, the hot bat. You never know what's going to happen there, but I'm taking Yankees in this one.
Okay, great. Thank you. Aaron, what are your thoughts? Do you agree with Angel or got your own opinion?
I mean, the weather's not the greatest. The wind is blowing in from right field, and the pressure is a little higher. It's not greatest carry in ball conditions, but I'm still not ever sold on Mitch Spence either. He's could like 3-4 run, 2 to 4 run guy, I would call him. Maybe he's not shit in the bed, but I don't know if you call him serviceable either. So I don't know. And if I take him out of it, or if I mix that with the Yankees even, I don't know if I can trust the Yankees bats, regardless of what the numbers say. I'm still on like Yankees Island. I was on Yankees Island when they played the Reds and smoked them the other day too. So I mean, it's another emotional kind of take for me, but I gotta see them 2-3 games in a row before I trust the Yankees doing something again.
Yeah, that's totally fair, man. Honestly,
And then
baseball's a very volatile sport.
Will Warren, I don't really have any issues with Will Warren either. I believe I played an under in this game, to be honest. I just looking at the weather and like I said, me not trusting the Yankees. I don't know why I took an under with the A's. But yeah, I just more of a feeling.
I appreciate it. Regardless of who's right, I love the fact that you guys took opposite sides on this, so I can't
That was
wait
a
to
weird
see.
game.
Yeah, it is. And honestly, 8 is the worst total in baseball. So let's go on. Joe, you got anything about the Yankees game?
Yes, sir. So for A's and Yankees, it looks like we got Mitch Spence versus Will Warren. Mitch Spence with a 3.84 ERA. Will Warren, 4.66 ERA. He has 96 strikeouts for Will Warren and he actually had a high strikeout up. He has a high strikeout upside, but he struggled with walks and long innings. So the Yankees have lost 3 of his last 4 starts. Yankees are also cold, like we were talking about. Aaron and Angel over there, and like they said, looks like it's just 4-9 in their last 13 starts. The offense has scored 2 runs or fewer in 5 of the last 7, so they're just not putting much points on the board right now.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just mulling it over my head. Oakland bullpen, they've only allowed 3 or fewer earned runs in 9 of the last 11. And Yankees are facing their former arm. We might have some inside knowledge.
Ooh.
Knowledge that he
Yeah.
sucks.
So I don't know. For that reason, also Yankees are hitting just 6 against right-handed pitchers over the last 10 days. A's are 12-5 against the spread as road dogs with plus 150 or higher in the last 6 weeks. Total open at 8.5. Sharp money is leaning toward the under. So, Warren strikeouts, they're real, but he burns out quick. This Yankees lineup is ice cold. This could be a first 5 under, or even a live ace spot for that matter. So that's what I'm leaning for this matchup. I think that's the best and sharpest place you could pick up on this game tonight.
Awesome. Great. Thank you for the insight. Next up, we're going to talk Cardinals Guardians. This seems like a complicated game. Odds are super close. I mean, they're all really close except for the Yankees. And the last time I bet on them last week, they were like minus 350 and blew it. So I kind of hate them. Regardless, Cardinals and Guardians, Gray versus Ortiz. Aaron, can you kick us off?
Oh yeah, I'm just trying to look up and see if there's any. Jose Ramirez got hit by a pitch the other day, and yeah, I don't know if he's sitting out or not, but it's so windy. Like we were just talking about the wind blowing in and it being terrible, and the Yankees. This is the complete opposite. So I looked at this game and I just was looking at players, hitters, who's gonna hit in this game, and I wrote down quite a few things for this game, but it's mainly, I think it should be an over game with the weather, with everything, with or without J-Ram. I want to be on the Cardinals side. I guess they play each other pretty close. I think the Cleveland owns the series, kind of semi-small scale, but um, yeah, I want to play the bats. Maybe like the hot Cardinals bats today. Honestly, they're hot. Not just a couple people. I mean, they're hitting the ball well. There's like a +3, but no, it's higher than that. I think it's plus 24% chance for home runs in this game, plus 15% chance for second and third base or triples and doubles, plus 20% for runs, and it's just nice. It's nice, sunny, windy, straight out to center. So yeah, I just stuck with the over.
Okay. Yeah, totally fair, man. So let's go on. Joe, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, so for Cardinals versus Guardians, Sonny Gray versus Luis Ortiz on the mound. Sonny Gray's been steady, but he's actually been a little hittable lately, allowing 3+ earned runs in 3 of his last 4. Ortiz looks like his command's been an issue. His whip's hovering around 1.4, and he's also vulnerable to power bats. Cardinals offense is heating up, 0.29 over the last 7 games for their hitters, their top hitters. Guardians are still elite at home, 22-9, but the bullpen is lights out. So that's a good combination. Guardians are disciplined, even though Sonny Gray has been great against below average offenses. The Guardians' discipline might be a problem. They're actually top 10 in walk rate. So, yeah, this one could come down to the bullpens. There's a clear edge to Cleveland. If Gray slips early, Guardians could take control by the set 6. Cleveland's second half money line or full game under could be the smart place to go on this. That's what I got.
Okay, sweet. Thank you. Wrapping it up for this matchup, we got Mr. Angel. Shine some light on us. What are you thinking?
So we got the Guardians at home today. The Cardinals usually win when Sonny Gray's on the mound. He has a 7-2 record this season, and the Cardinals have won 12 of his 15 starts. So I think this is a good matchup for him. In the last 10 games, the Cardinals have won 8 of those, and in the last 2 games they got shut out. So I think they're gonna come hungry today. Luis Ortiz had a great game last game. He shut out the Athletics. Dude had I think 10 strikeouts. Let me get that right real quick.
Last game he had 10 game.
Yeah, 10 strikeouts, no runs. That's a great game. But
I was joking because
I don't think that I get it. I don't think that'll happen again today, though. So I'm looking for a Sonny Gray Cardinals win in this game.
Okay, sweet. Yeah. Sonny Gray is a stud. I'm excited to see what happens there. Thank you guys. And finally, we're going to talk about Cubs at Astros. We got Horton versus Walter. Honestly, not a baseball guy. Never heard of either of them. So, Joe, you want to kick us off? What are your thoughts on this?
So, like you said, Cade Horton versus Brandon Walter on the mound for Cubs versus Astros. Horton is talented. He's a young righty. He's flashed elite pitch sequencing, but limited innings. So still not a lot of sample size on him and experience. Brandon Walter is actually still seeking his first win, but he is showing improved command and soft contact profile. Cubs offense continues to free fall. They're dead last in the league in OBP, 0.273 since June, the start of June. So that's not very good. Horton actually may have future ace stuff, but he's being managed carefully now, so we can't really judge off that. Astros will probably see the bullpen early, but they're at least finally clicking. 10-4 in the last 14 at home, so they have a couple of hot hitters. You know, Houston has the better bullpen, the hotter lineup, more trustable starter at this point. If Horton gets the early hook again, this sets up perfectly for a full game Astros cover or a live total over once the pins get relieved.
Okay, sweet. All right. Thanks, Joe. Appreciate it. Let's go on to Aaron. What are your thoughts about this game?
It's another weather game.
You're on a weather kick, huh?
Well, it's in Houston, so I guess I can't say it's the weather in a dome, but
I mean, I'm not judging. I don't know that much. I'm just saying, you know, the
it's
weather's
just
a big
Houston's
factor.
ballpark. Like there used to be a place where you go and see people do stuff and hit bombs. It's
That's so
it's always
funny.
at the bottom of the list. So I mean, like the bullpen deal, I don't think the Cubs fare well against this. That's what I was looking for. This pitcher. I mean, I'm not thinking that the Cubs are really gonna hit him because he's left-handed for one, and their offense is on the, I guess you call it a cold streak, maybe. But the last time the Cubs fell apart, I was on the right side of it at the right time. And the Astros are at home. I mean, they're one of the best home teams to put your money behind. And the Cubs can't hit a lefty. And if it's going to be a bullpen day, the Astros did have a bullpen day like this where they had like 6 left-handed pitchers the whole game. But the Cubs can play against that, and I don't think that the Astros would do that, considering the Cubs are already starting against a lefty, and they might build their lineup that way, which means they're already trying to figure out a way to beat Houston at home, and I don't like it. I mean, Houston just has to play Houston ball at home.
I don't like it. That's awesome. I'm glad you pointed that out. I actually was thinking about the Astros the other day and the Rangers, to be perfectly honest. Again, I know I said this couple minutes ago, but I'm not a huge baseball follower, but I just was kind of looking when I do bet it, which is usually off the picks that you guys provide one way or the other, and I'll look at the Astros and Rangers because I grew up in Texas, and I just felt like neither seemed as hot as they've been. And so I just went and looked, and the Astros are quietly, at what, almost a 60% win rate.
Damn.
That's surprising to me.
Yeah, that's pretty
honestly.
good. Start early in the
that's because
season.
they're killing it at home. And away, they're in the negative slightly. They're close to 500. But yeah, like he said, last 10, they're 7-3.
Damn.
And so I think, maybe they're gaining some momentum. Rangers fell off the face of the earth. I don't know.
And I don't know, Horton, fastball, changeup, and a slider. His fastball is a F grade, which Houston can hit a fastball pretty well if the low movement pitches. I don't know, man. I think it could be like there's so many games today that are like this. Like it's a sneaky Houston spot. It's a sneaky other team spot. I feel like the whole damn card is like that today.
Hell yeah. That's why I said round robin, prime opportunity. If you think you know who's going to win, throw all that shit in a round robin, and you're going to be broke or rich. Welcome to gambling.
Yeah. That's
I'm just
weird,
kidding.
man.
Cool. I'll take it. Thanks, Aaron. Appreciate it. Last up, Angel, what do you have to tell us about Cubs Astros?
Yeah, I'm kind of liking what Aaron said. I think I'm siding with his home team today. Brandon Walter, only one on the season. His last game, he gave up 7 runs against the Angels, but in the 3 games before that, he only gave up 3 runs total. I think he might bounce back a little bit. I got Cade Horton on the mound for the Cubs. He's a rookie. He does give up quite a few hits, 7 hits, 3 hits, 7 hits in his last 3 games. I'm liking the Astros in this matchup.
Okay, great. Awesome. So I think that's everything for today's cards. Got some valuable insight. We're going to see what happens. Honestly, every game, odds wise, betting wise, is extremely close today. So I feel like anything is going to be a discussion and there will be disagreement and strong opinions. I'm looking to see how this shakes out. Sometimes those are the most, in my experience, they're the most valuable days or some of the worst. It just kind of depends on which side of things you're on and who you have. Well, in my situation, giving you advice. For you guys, you know your stats, you know who you're going to put your money on, and best of luck to everybody. So let's head into the lock it in segment, and we've got quite a bit of options coming up over tonight and the coming weekend. Massive UFC card. In that vein, let's start off with Joe. Joe, what are your picks that we're locking in today?
I got 2 best bets for today that we're locking in. First one, A's at Yankees, under on the total runs. Spence and Warren are control pitchers. They're trending to suppress offense. Yankees have played 6 straight unders, and A's have hit the under 5 and out of their last 6 games. That's a hell of a stat for both teams. This game seems to be trending unders. The pitchers trend unders. The teams trend under. And if we're going to take a page out of Action Network, they note that Warren's elite horizontal sweeper and sinker command make him tough on the A's lineup. So something they wanted to highlight. Something I'm throwing out there for them. So let's take that under total runs. Let's go over to UFC for my second best bet. I'm liking Toporia by KO in rounds 1 or 2. Like I said, Charles, I may hedge with a submission prop for him. There's ways you could play that fight and still not lose your ass if Toporia doesn't get the knockout. But yeah, I'm going heavy on Toporia by knockout. We already know why. Charles gets hit. Toporia likes to hit. We just have to see how his power translates to this division. I think it'll translate well, though.
Hell yeah. Straight confidence. I completely agree. Between those 2 weight classes anyway, 10 pounds just means you feel better when you're that small. And yeah, I think that's great. And for anybody watching this, if you want a safe hedge, if you want the other options that help you make money no matter what happens, join the Discord. Moneyline hacks. There are always safe picks that will make sure that you profit no matter what happens. And I was curious. I'm looking at the stats. Man, Oliveira's stats are crazy for like KO, sub, or decision. All of them. The best one is plus 750. That's insane. That poor guy. I feel like he's like the litmus test for that division. And so anyone who wants to do well, they're like, all right, fight Oliveira. And so he just constantly has every difficult matchup in a row. Whatever. I mean, he's getting paid, so good for him.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Cool. So for our next lock it in, what do we got? Let's go. Aaron, what are you thinking?
I got 3 bets today.
Yes, sir.
I like this Mitch Keller matchup versus the Mets. He's not terrible versus them. He could be some of their daddies, maybe even. I think he can do well today. He's never gone under 6 innings versus the Mets, and the most he's given up is 3. I mean, that was 2022. But most recently, 7 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned. I just like this spot for him. I like the under because the Pirates can't score anyway, so I'm not taking the Pirates to win. I just took the under. It's 8 now, but
under 8 for the whole game. Nothing related to Keller's strikeouts. No first 5. Just
maybe if, I haven't even looked at his player props, but he'll probably go his innings.
All right.
I just like him not to give up much. And then same going to another pitcher. I think Dylan Cease and the Padres will be fine through the first 5. I think he should have plenty of Ks tonight. I got the Padres minus a half a run, plus 105 first 5. And I just like to back him today. Not normally do I do that either, but I think it's a good spot for them. The Padres should get to, what's the name too? I didn't write this part down. But
you're all good, man.
Forgot who's pitching for them actually.
You're
Martinez.
Martinez.
Yeah, Martinez in the Reds. Yeah, that was another reason too. I think the Padres can get to him. They don't ever not, and I just need it in the first 5. And then I had the Rangers and the Mariners over 7. Just me being a Rangers fan, watching these Mariners and Rangers games go over 7 all the time. So I feel like that was just free money. Could be wrong, but majority of the time those games are going over between those two.
Hell yeah. You know what I'm probably going to do is some kind of parlay, like Pirates. Actually, I'm not going to touch that one. Dylan Cease
Yeah.
in strikeouts, or potentially the Padres run line with, like, you know, some safety net. Say I did Cease 5, because I just looked. His line's at over 6.5, which is minus 150. That's too juicy for me. But if we drop it to like over 4.5 and then parlay it with Rangers Mariners over 5 or 6, I might do that. That's not an official pick. Nobody should listen to me. I'm not great at betting, or I would be rich. But I will say it's a lot of fun.
I like it.
Yeah.
All right. Last up, that was all your picks, right, Aaron?
Yeah, that was it.
Okay. And Angel, last person, wrap us up. Lock it in
do it.
segment. What are you telling me to spend my money on?
I also have 3 bets for you. And the first one is going to be a hidden streak bet. I do like riding the streaks, and this is a good one. We got Josh Naylor from the Arizona Diamondbacks, 13 games in a row with a hit, 420 betting average within those games. So I'm looking for a hit from him today. That's my first bet. My second bet is going to be Sonny Gray. I'm looking for a Cardinals win today. We've already talked about why, so I think I don't need to explain that one again. My final bet is Brandon Royval. I'm taking the money line because I don't think Joshua Vane is going to win.
You almost have the same best bet because I almost threw Royval in there as
Bro,
well.
you took
as a
my best bet,
but-
the Toporia knockout, so I had to throw something else. But it
All
worked
right,
out
well, we're on the
perfect.
same page.
Hey,
We're about to
So-
make money this weekend for UFC.
I hear
Great
Angel's
minds.
giving away VIP picks for free.
Yeah.
Nah.
No,
see how
nothing
that
wrong
goes.
with
Do it.
that. Yeah, we have a whole conversation. It's good. Everyone's on the same page. You guys are all experts at this, and so thank you. When you guys agree, that's when I'm like, all right,
Oh,
let's
yeah.
let's pull a little bit out of savings and do this.
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
Angels had a sweep on this show. Giving out UFCs at a sweep in the same night especially with the Kayla
Let's
Harrison
do it.
sub. I've had a couple sweeps, and we just need the team sweep now. So let's get
do
it.
This is the one.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a good day. It's gonna
Yes,
be a good
sir.
day.
Yeah,
and good
yeah,
night
yeah.
tomorrow.
Yeah, I think even last week when Aaron couldn't join us, I actually think I did some baseball parlays based off of his picks that were in the Discord, and I made money like
Oh, yeah.
across the board. It was great. Granted, you
Hey,
guys know
I
I
wasn't
do
here for.
weird picks.
I was on like a 4-1 streak there for 4 or 5 days maybe, and then it's dropped down to 3-2. And yesterday and the day before, I think it was 2-3. The tide is out right now.
Comeback time.
It is comeback time. The
Hell
entire
yeah.
Discord's heating up, man. I have no doubt in your abilities, and you guys just convinced me. I'm gonna bet tonight. I can't wait. Thank you so much for joining. I know everybody's got stuff going on. Audience members, thanks for watching. I hope everybody makes a killing this weekend. Enjoy the fights, enjoy the baseball games, whatever part of this you're into. I hope you have a blast and make some money. Thank you to everybody. So we're signing off, guys. Have a good one.
Hey,
Cash.
have a good day.
Let's go.
All right. Have a good weekend, everyone.